Public speaking had always been my greatest fear. The thought of standing in front of a crowd, all eyes on me, made my palms sweat and my heart race. For as long as I can remember, I've gone out of my way to avoid speaking in front of others. Whether it was in school, where I would fake being sick to skip presentations, or at work, where I'd let others take the lead in meetings, I did everything I could to stay in the background. This fear wasn't just a minor inconvenience, it was holding me back in major ways. I started to realize just how much when I was passed over for a promotion because my boss said I needed to develop my communication skills. I was devastated and embarrassed. I knew I had the skills and knowledge to excel in the role, but my fear of public speaking had cost me a valuable opportunity. That was my wake-up call. I decided that I couldn't let this fear control my life any longer. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was determined to make a change. I started by doing something that terrified me. I signed up for a public speaking class at a local community center. Walking into that first class was one of the hardest things I've ever done. My heart was pounding, and I felt like everyone could see just how nervous I was. But to my surprise, I wasn't alone. Everyone else in the class was there for the same reason. They were scared too. The instructor was incredibly supportive. She started us off with simple exercises, like introducing ourselves and talking about our favorite hobbies. At first, I felt awkward and stumbled over my words, but as the weeks went by, I noticed small improvements. I learned techniques to manage my anxiety, like deep breathing and visualizing a positive outcome. I practiced making eye contact, using gestures, and speaking at a steady pace. One of the most helpful exercises was watching recordings of my speeches. It was uncomfortable at first. I hated hearing my own voice and seeing myself on screen, but it allowed me to see where I was improving and where I still needed work. With each class, I gained a little more confidence. The turning point came when I was assigned to give a 5-minute presentation on a topic of my choice. I chose to talk about a book that had inspired me, and for the first time I felt a connection with my audience. They were engaged, nodding along, and even laughing at the jokes I'd worked into my speech. It was a small moment, but it felt monumental to me. Encouraged by my progress, I began to look for more opportunities to practice. I volunteered to lead a meeting at work and started speaking up more during team discussions. Every time I spoke, I felt a little less anxious and a little more capable. I realized that public speaking wasn't about being perfect, it was about connecting with people and sharing your message. One of the biggest lessons I learned was to reframe my fear as excitement. I read that the physical sensations of fear and excitement are similar: rapid heartbeat, butterflies in your stomach, so I started telling myself before each speech, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. It didn't eliminate the nerves completely, but it shifted my mindset just enough to make speaking feel less like a threat and more like an opportunity. Over time, public speaking became something I could handle without that overwhelming dread. I won't say I'm completely fearless now. There are still moments when I feel those nerves creeping back, but I've learned to manage them and not let them control me. I even got that promotion after showing my boss how much I'd improved. Looking back, I'm proud of how far I've come. Conquering my fear of public speaking taught me that I'm capable of more than I ever thought possible. It's not just about speaking in front of a crowd, it's about facing challenges head-on and believing that you can overcome them. If I can do it, so can anyone else.